Hello guys, I'm Nathaniel. Let me tell you why Half Life Alyx should come out for VR. Recently, VR community are busy with Half Life Alyx. Not only that, the whole gaming community is also buzzing because of it. So, why is so much issue? It's because Half Life series are the legends of the entire video game history. Also, no single series has not failed so far. And there is no sequel for 13 years. Eventually, new Half-Life game had announced. It's not flash-cleaned game like other AAA games, but it's a virtual reality exclusive game. Most of the reaction to its announcement is quite positive even though it's VR. I think it's because the developer of the game is Valve. They are very good at such a genre. Though some have slightly negative about VR, they might think Valve would handle it. Also, out of the VR issue, they just happy about the finally a new Half-Life game will be on the market. Only some sarcastic about it's only 1.25, not 3. So they seem to be very expected for the title. Most responses are some kind of positive, but some people are very harmful, booming. The adverse reaction is that, why should it be VR? They ruin the series for selling their hardware. Half-Life must be a keyboard and mouse. I'm curious about how many people have a proper VR experience among the people who's reacting like that. In my guess, 99% of the people who respond like that have no appropriate VR experience. They might experience some kind of phone VR and probably thought it's just a gimmick. Let's make a simple analogy for the such people. You are playing Witcher 3. Next to you, a man looks like 60, says to you, "Oh, you are playing a video game. I had played Tetris long ago. It was not my type of thing. I think it's silly. I don't get why you are playing the game so much hard. It is very ignorant, don't you think?" Having proper VR contents with a 6th degree of freedom of HMD and motion controllers is hugely different from the watching adult content on the phone VR. You cannot feel you are in there in phone VR, just the image is enlarged and 3D. The recent VR hardware gives you a much closer feeling of you are really in there. Telling people you have a VR experience by watching 360 videos, that's so awkward. Let's back to the original topic. Why should Alyx come into VR? Those skeptical people who commonly misunderstand that the next Half-Life should come out in flat screen and a VR stole from it, but it is not. Next Half-Life game barely came out because of VR. Without VR, it could not happen. The skeptical people probably just played Half-Life or know the name, but they probably don't know what Valve had done recently. Just think they cannot count 3, then why they don't make 3? It is just they cannot count? Why? Why do you think Gabe Newell doesn't make a sequel of the series after achieving such a great success? If Valve is not Gabe Newell's private firm, there will be a lot of pressure for the making new game. Probably they could make Half-Life 3 or Portal 3. But Valve is a Gabe Newell's private firm, and that means he can do whatever he wants. The financial issue is not critical for the Valve. Most of the income is coming from the Steam service. That's how to allow the Valve could make ordinary games. They don't improve the next-gen game by only upgrade overall graphics and an interface or adding a good storyline. Valve always fix the core feature of the previous title for making the new game. The series not doing such a process were Half-Life episodes. Then what was happened? Half-Life 2 Episode 3 has never come out. I think he doesn't want Half-Life 3's only expanding its storyline. Half-Life 3 must have innovations, and the episode already shows its full potential. Besides other IPs, Half-Life is the most crucial IP for Valve, so they might don't want to waste it. When Half-Life turned 1 to 2, there is a lot of innovations. People's point of the innovation was graphic and physics. These elements vastly improved by the other title after Half-Life 2. Growing visual and physics engines might be a minor or essential thing for them. The narrative should be the pivot point of the innovations. In my opinion, the gaming narrative is completed in Half-Life 2. Most of current FPS gaming narratives are in Half-Life 2 influential boundary. They already show the peak of the visual storytelling with the Half-Life and Portal series. They give the best effort to make a new Half-Life title. It's impossible to go far beyond Half-Life 2. There are so many traces of the attempts to create a new episode. The only achievement was a graphical improvement. It could not make a significant difference from the previous games. So we have to check why Valve deeply involves VR technology. Many people don't know Valve is profoundly affecting in VR. They are a core company that are enhancing the current era VR. Many people know that only Oculus have considerable influence. The beginning of the VR industry is from Oculus, that is true. But after that, Oculus cooperated with the Valve and makes a lot of new technology, such as motion controllers. Oculus would be the official Steam VR device at just before release. However, Facebook bought the Oculus before its release. That's why the current PC VR market divided into two camps. The point of what I'm saying here, Valve is always the pioneer of VR industry. VR is the Valve significant interest, and they seem to be expecting VR as a future of gaming. They can make a new title after making VR good enough. Only virtual reality can genuinely make the new title innovate, and Valve still been improving the VR technology. Maybe Half-Life 3 doesn't come out long after release of Half-Life Alyx. There is even if Half-Life Alyx succeeds. So Half-Life Alyx will be the best VR game out yet. Ironically, third one has to jump over it. One thing that I can sure each official Half-Life series will never come out in a traditional format. Yeah, of course, there will be games like Project Borealis and Black Mesa, which are third-party and fan-made games. But it could never be official. So next Half-Life game would release on the different formats, unlike current VR. Even it's like a Matrix type of VR, it will never go back. If it could, Episode 3 is already released. Yeah, there are a lot of boomers who says no, why it should be VR? I play Alyx after the monitor mode came out. Yes, you can play Alyx in flat screen. There is a lot of models could do that. But I have to say, playing Alyx like that, is it really playing it? I don't think so. I'm not saying playing games in flat screen with a keyboard and mouse is inferior to VR. That is an excellent medium, but one and another can replace completely? That is impossible. I will give you a simple example. There are a movie and a novel that have exactly same story and script. Even if you read the novel, it does not mean you watch the movie. A novel is excellent as a novel, and a movie is excellent as a movie. VR and flat screen are same things. You can have just the same story, but not experience. If you don't know well about VR, you might think of VR is just like sticking on monitors on your face and have a Wii controllers, but it is not. VR gives you a vastly different level of immersion. It's much closer to reality. The first most significant difference between the both formats is the separation of the face and the hands. You have to move your face and your hand on flat screen. It just gives you the illusion of controlling them separately, but you can manage your face and hand ideally like real life in VR. You can naturally see and touch two different things. It makes you feel much immersed and allow you to do many other things. Check the Half Life Alyx trailers. The player is having heal with his left hand and check the zombie with his eye and shoot the zombie with his right hand. That is impossible to do with a monitor and gamepad setup. Naturally, yes, you can do it by holding a button to heal and smooth your sight with the thumbstick and shoot the zombie with triggers, but its feeling is doing that is very different. Also, you can rightly pull back the charge handle of a rifle to check the bullet loaded in the chamber, but in flat screen, you have to check the only UI. It is merely like holding X to pay respect. You cannot pay respect by yourself. Its only result of how to be seen by the third person is similar. The actual person who doing that has entirely different feeling. The second significant difference is a visual. Watching in VR and look at the monitor is an entirely different type of watch. People who are unfamiliar with VR usually think like VR is putting 3D screen on your face. However, both of them are very different. In the 3D screen, the image makes you feel popping up in a real environment, so you cannot perceive the actual scale of the object. It just makes the picture more realistic. You cannot feel how big is the starship or how big is the door in your screen. Your brain merely assumes the scale by comparing it with other familiar objects. However, VR gives a perfect sense of scale to viewers. It's a huge difference. It makes you forget your real-world environment much more natural. Besides, interact with the virtual object directly with your hand gives much closer sense to reality. So you see gameplay videos are similar, that does not mean those experiences are identical. Those are completely different experiences. So I recommend you to have a cheap VR device if you want to play Half Life Alyx. So resolution and tracking are much less than expensive VR devices. It would be much better than monitor to play Alyx. You could convince yourself that you genuinely play Alyx by that. You never reach the feeling what actual game is by monitor and gamepad. These things are all that I want to say about the Half Life Alyx announcement so far. If you have a question or thought, please leave the comment below. I will answer as much as I can. Thank you for the watch.